What is up, YouTube? It is Matty coming at you live from the Travel Lodge in Aldershot because I'm out away on business, but that doesn't mean I can't do any recordings for you guys. So I'm here to do a quick, well, I say a quick, it's a slightly more in-depth view at the AQ charge, the Queen charge, whatever you want to call it. Now, I have done a previous video on this attack, which was sort of like an intro. This is more of a spotlight view where I'm going to show 4 raids with the strategy. So firstly, I will say that all of these attacks are in high level wars. So Emphatic Fury, we had the Scrim, and there is the current war versus Clan. I am on low battery, so I'm gonna have to speed up on this. But yeah, you know, these are the AQ charge is a phenomenal raid if you can get it right, and you can already see that from the type of wars that we're dropping the attack in, it can be used at the high level sort of raid, and I do encourage you to go and have a look at the previous video I did. The link will be in the description for that. So Jack Relf is the guy that's sort of dropping the strategy in the wars for us, and he's just owning with it. He's got it down. So 3 of the 4 attacks are going to be by Jack himself, and he's going to be showing us what the attack involves. So the first one is him attacking the Holy. You know, the Holy is a well-known emphatic member. He drops 3 stars left, right, and centre in pretty much every war. And yeah, it's a great example where I can show the raid on, because it's on a tough base. So I'm going to hit play. I'm going to have a little look at what he does. So to start the raid, as normal, he's dropping the Queen in. Now, what you need to do early on is break the Queen into the base and make sure you create the funnel wide enough so that the Queen's going to go inside. You can see he's dropped wizards down to funnel the Queen in. And he just wants to make sure that the Queen hits the inside of the base. He's dropping the Earthquake down as well to open up the core. Now, with the core open, he's going to be able to, once the Queen goes in, keep her moving inwards. As soon as the mortar was distracted and the cannon was distracted more to the point, he was able to drop an extra little wizzy down to make sure that the Queen didn't come back outside, which is a thing that she could do, which you need to be careful of. Now, unfortunately, one of his healers got hit early on, but he was able to carry on through the raid and yeah, keep going with only 5 healers. Drop the rage spell down to help take down the king. Drop the ability to take down the P.E.K.K.A. in the CC. But meanwhile, so what he's doing is the Queen's going in. He's doing a separate sort of attack, a split hero attack, to go and take down the Queen, using a golem, some Valkyries, and the king of all things to go and take down the enemy Queen. So in most 3-star bases, the Queen will be bunkered. So in most of the current anti-3-star designs, so it's pretty easy to go and get her. Now, what he's done, you can see, he's actually come up with a plan. So he's going to jump the king out of the core. With the Queen going inside, she's going to eliminate some of the giant bomb threats. And what he can do is, while the king is still tanking and going in towards the sort of moving through that part of the base, he's able to drop a couple of hogs early on to go and help take down those early defences, and then he's got some hogs for the remaining sides, which is in this case 12 and 6 early, well, yeah, I say early in the raid, and they're going to go and help take down the final defences. And before we know it, guys, all the defences in this attack are down, and very quickly he's he's able to walk through the base and bring home the 3-star. So it's insanely powerful. I'm going to replay this one more time just to give you an idea. 2 minutes 32. It was such a quick raid, but yeah, Queen down. You can see the healers doing their work on the Queen to keep her alive. I mean, it's going to be very difficult for the Queen to go down. The only thing that's going to get in her way are heroes and CC. But he gets the funnel perfect. I love the way he waited on the wizard drop to make sure that both cannons were distracted before he took down the water, and then that wizard went and took down the barracks as well to make sure that the Queen went inside. That's key. You need to get it going inwards. Perfect rage spell placement as well to take down the enemy king, to take down the CC. There was a P.E.K.K.A. there, which is always a little bit of a worry, especially against a Queen Walk, but poison spell to help slow down the loon, helped enough to be able so it wasn't actually able to get a drop off, and she was able to take down the P.E.K.K.A as well. With the split hero, the easy funnel on the other side, broke in with the wall breakers, golem, king, Valkyries, everything to help break through. I love the fact he took the jump spell in to go and help take down the Expo as well. And already he's taken down so many defenses, and this is why this strategy is so good, because he's got two testers pumping into the queen right now, but he's able to take them both down and the wizard tower down, and then suddenly the queen's free. She's taken down all those defenses. She's now going to take on a skelly trap. It's just meaning that all that value she's gaining from those healers of making use of the heal, she's just going to carry on tanking through, and she's going to be an absolute force to be reckoned with. With that and the king going through, and he's on really good health as well, not even used the ability. And bear in mind, guys, he's only got level 20 king, and he's been able to make it through and barely get touched throughout the raid and take it down very, very quickly and efficiently. So amazing raid, very good job by Jack, and that is a perfect example of the queen charge and how effective it can be. So the next one we're going to show, if I can just quickly find the video, is him taking down Nazca, which is 15 versus 15, his equivalent. Again, an anti 3-star base. Let's have a look at the angle he takes in and why he chooses to do so. Breaking open the core, giving him huge access to a massive portion of the base, dropping the queen down early, getting some cannons down at the start of the raid, getting just hitting some defenses early on. There is a Expo there to help to try and stop the queen, but with the cannons going down, and now she's going to start regaining health, and now she's already hitting the Expo. So he needs her to go inside, but how is he going to do it? Because he needs that archer tower, which you can see, to sort of hit the queen. As soon as it hits the queen, he drops the wizards, he drops the minions. Minions are key because the cannon can't target the minions as well, so it's going to drive the queen inside, which is exactly what he wants to do. Meanwhile, as soon as the queen started going in, he's already at the north side of the base. I sort of missed it there, but the girl and the king, wizards, everything to funnel them in. Rage spell, got the Valkyries in again, similar sort of strategy, taking down the queen, taking down some defenses in the process. Wizards are doing work. Golem's in there tanking still. King's now free. The king is sat there living the high life. There are some hogs he's thrown in to help the king out, and then he throws in the hogs for the flanking defenses. There is a hound in the CC which the queen is dealing with slowly but surely, so she's had a slightly delayed walk, but the hogs are moving through. They hit a giant bomb, but towards sort of 3 o'clock is where the difficulty of the raid's going to be, should we say, because he needs to get those defenses down. Now that you can see a couple of Teslas there, the queen ability is still fine. He's got to take down a couple of skelly traps, then he can start working down the defenses. So already there's not a huge amount of hogs. He saved 3 hogs as well. He knew this was going to be the tricky part of the raid. He needs to get that Expo down. With all those Teslas over there as well. The king is tanking. He's just being very cautious in his hog drop, and that's key to this, because you haven't got the huge amount of hogs. You've got to make sure you get good value out of them to make sure that they take down a good portion of the base. And you can see the Expo going down. He's saved 2 hogs as well. He's going to drop them in back end look just to help take down those final defenses, and they're going to do a good job putting some good damage on the defenses there. And then the queen's going to carry on moving through, and she's eventually going to help. But she doesn't even need to. So he's got the hogs to help for cleanup again. Great raid. Dropping the queen charge like a boss. The hound did delay the queen massively, so she didn't get hugely into the base, but when she did, she was able to go in and get the good value and take down those take down the final defenses. I'm going to flick over to the current war, because I've got another couple of raids to show you. The first one will be by Dave. Here we go, number 12 taking on number 14, and you can see, oh no, this isn't it. Bear with me 1 second. I think this might be it, guys. We've got Dave taking on the number 13, and he's got 5 healers to help him out. So he's doing a very similar approach. Look, earthquaking open the base. He's got a huge amount there to help him out. Queen down early, 5 healers on her, Starting to create the funnel already. Wizard down to help create the funnel onto towards 1 o'clock. Minion to help take down the camp as well. He's just trying to make sure that the queen has no sort of reason to carry on moving around the outside of the base, because the last thing you want, which is almost what just happened, was the queen to be pulled outside. You need her to go inside the base. The king and the queen are towards 9 o'clock on this raid, on this base design, so he's going to need a way to take them down. Normally a golem in the CC, either a jump spell or wall breakers, depending on the base itself, would be sufficient. There is a dragon in the CC on this one. Rage spell is going to help take down the dragon. It's also going to help the healers just keep that queen alive, and that's going to push through. He needs to be thinking about taking down the enemy king now. You can see the wizards are down, the golem's down, the king's down, all to go and help take down the enemy queen and king in this case. Now the rage spell there to help. The wizards are doing some good work. The golem's rushing in, the king's already rushed in. Couple of hogs down early, you see, dropped in at 9 o'clock there to help take down the arch tower as well. So he's just trying to get the best value he possibly can. Now there is an expert taking down the queen currently, so they're pretty much a good portion of this base is taken down already, and you can see using a couple of key loons here. Now Jack used Valkyries to add to the value to the kill squad now, but Dave is adding some loons in. There are exposed cannons, which you can see, and he's just using that to his advantage, taking down those cannons, using the extra little hogs to go in and take down the defences one by one, and just really add that little bit of value. Now you have got the cannon left at 3 o'clock. There's also a tester up there as well, so you're just going to wait a little bit of the you don't need to rush it. That's kind of the key for this raid, not rushing anything, just making sure you get best value. He has got the queen ability in his back pocket if he needs it, but at 3 o'clock the cannon's down and the arch tower's about to go down at 4, which it just did, and then the hogs are coming through, and now he's got a load of hogs for cleanup. He's got his king as well, and you can the one thing you might notice on this raid is that all the time these kings are making it through with very good health towards the end of the raid, and that's because the queen's on good health, the king's on good health. You're left with hogs, you're left with cleanup. If you can get the raid right, you can really start tearing up bases with it. Now we're going to show Jack's attack on number 16. I think this is another AQ charge we're going to see. 6 healers, you can tell it's already an AQ charge. And I'll tell you now, Jack loves his Valkyries. He loves to be able to throw those into a raid. You've probably seen the Jack attack video before. If you haven't, I suggest you check it out on my channel now. But that's where he adds in But that's where he really comes into his own and starts using the golem, a sort of a go-ho attack with the Valkyries to and hogs to make a really interesting raid strategy. So go check that out as well. But moving into this raid, you can see the queen is moving nicely into the base. He's created the funnel for her, so she's got no choice but to move inside. He's taking down defense after defense. He's taking on the skellies. He's about to take on the CC. Nice early poison down to help slow them down, to give the queen a chance to take them down. The wizards are there, which did cause almost a little bit of an issue, but he popped the ability in good time to be able to put some good damage to the king to take down the CC. Meanwhile, the down south, if you look, the golem's moving in. The wizards are as well to help create the funnel. Quite heavy on the wizards because of the CC, the storage is down there. King down now as well, making sure the king goes inside, and he's dropping those Valkyries in. Immediately drops a couple of hogs down to go and help. The arch tower is distracted, so that's going to be good value to help get that down, and the mortar. So a couple of hogs very early. He's got sort of 12 hogs to take down a very small portion of the base. So he's just probably looking where his queen's going and where his king's going as to where he's going to need to add his hogs in. And you can see he's decided to go in from sort of 10 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Bringing them in, and they're going to swoop all the way through the base, through the core, which there isn't much in there at all now, and they're going to push to the final side of the base. He's got 3 hogs remaining as well. He's going to drop those last minute, I'd imagine, just to see. Might even potentially go to use those for cleanup, but no, look, he's dropped them on the final cannon, and they're going to help take that down. They will move to the arch tower after. Unfortunately, a spring caught them, so there's not much you could have done about that. The final hog is there, it's about to go down, but the queen's moved into the perfect spot to take it down anyway, and the cleanup's working, and he's working through the base, and there you go. So I've been able to show you quickly 4 raids back to back of where the AQ charge has been used in the last 2 wars to take down pretty tough bases. So I think the best use for it is in anti 3-star designs. So it's more of like a combat to the anti 3-star base layout that you see in these tougher wars. So have this sort of strategy in your back pocket, bookmark the video, whatever you want to do. Just so you've got it to hand when you need it, because it is a very solid strategy. So I hope this has helped, and yeah guys, as always, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If this is the first time you're checking out my channel, this is the sort of videos I like to do, along with recaps and that sort of thing. But I hope you've enjoyed, and yeah, let me know what your thoughts are, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.